Okay. So, Devikant, can you tell me about your experience?
No, okay. Hi Jaffer, my name is Devikant. I am from the Hyderabad. I am working as a software engineer at Optimal Health Solutions. I have 2 years of experience in React front-end development, React with Redux. I am familiar with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I have 2 different domain knowledge, which are the e-commerce and finance ERP applications. I worked as a 2 different projects, and my role is that I am a software engineer. I am a team member to deep dive into that project and analyze that their requirement and to meet their implement their logic.
Okay. So, in your team, how many members are there?
6 members are there.
Okay. So you are a team member in there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you mean to say the task will be assigned to you from the team lead?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So so till now, how many applications you have developed in React?
To develop 2 applications.
So can I say you work from scratch?
One application is work from scratch. One application is middle of that application.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. Then we'll start from JavaScript first. Okay,
Uh,
after post JavaScript, we'll go into React.
okay.
Okay, so tell me what is JavaScript?
JavaScript is the client side rendering which is browser can understand, and the which is functionality can be implemented in JavaScript, and user can, if we want to do anything in functionality, user can easily understand the which is what we have to do in JavaScript, and even browser can easily understand.
Okay, okay. So the thing is, can't we run on server the JavaScript?
We can run
So can you tell me how we can run on server?
server
Yeah,
server
yeah. I mean to say server. Suppose you know, right? Backend technologies like PHP, .NET,
Java.
Java, right?
I know
So,
Java.
okay, like that, we have a JavaScript called Node.js, right?
Okay.
So using that, we can also run JavaScript on server side because of Node.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing, okay, coming to the next question. So can you tell me the differences between var, let, and const?
uh, Where is nothing but the it is a global scope variable. Let is the functional scope variable. We can't declare that same variable with in the same block. Const is the only, if we assign, if we declare once, we can't declare another anywhere. That const is also block level variable.
Okay. So then next question comes is suppose in a function I have written var a is equal to 10.
Okay.
Okay. Outside the function, I
Uh,
am doing console.log a.
uh,
Then what will be the output I will see in the console?
First you are declaring.
In function inside
Uh,
var a is equal to 10.
uh,
Okay, you can say that function name is hello.
Hello. Oh yes, fine.
Okay,
We can get that value now.
okay. So you mean to say inside function we have written var a is equal to 10,
Uh,
but outer function if we can access that one. You are
that
saying
is global scope variable.
okay, okay, yeah. But the thing is, var is not a global scope variable. Basically, it is a functional scope variable. Okay, the correct
Okay.
answer is so it will bound to the functional scope basically. Suppose if you don't add any keyword like var, let, const, if you don't add those keywords, right? Then
Okay.
wherever you keep inside a function, inside a for loop, inside a condition, wherever you
Okay.
keep
Okay.
without any keyword, then that will becomes global variable.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, coming to let. Okay.
Okay.
Coming to let. So can we reassign let defined
No, no.
variable?
Inside the block, we can't
Okay.
reassign.
Reassign.
Reassign. We can reassign. We can't redeclare.
Okay. Okay. Good. So what about constant?
If we assign const also, we can't re const. We can't reassign.
Okay. Reassign. Can we redeclare?
No, we can't redeclare.
Okay. Okay. Suppose I'm writing like this. Okay. The first line in the JavaScript file is console.log a. Okay.
Hmm.
After that, I am writing const a is equal to 10. Okay.
Okay.
Whenever we're running this JS file, what is
Okay.
the output I will see in the console?
First you return console.log a. After
Yes.
that const a equal to some 10.
Yes. Correct.
Const will not host. No? It is something a is undefined.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So basically, the const or let variables are hoisted. Basically, technically we are saying not hoisted, but the thing is, behind the scene, it will be hoisted and it will be create a memory. But why can't we access this? But the memory has been created in the temporal dead zone, which variable created in temporal dead zone, right, for the memory.
Okay.
So we can't access before initialization. So that way we will get the error like before initialization you can't access the a
Variable.
variable. So
Okay.
that error we will get. Okay, so it is deleted. Can you tell me what is mean by hoisting?
Hosting means if you are accessing, suppose function, one function is there, hello function is there.
Mm-hmm.
If that declarations are moving to the top, if
Okay.
function hello is there, at top of that you call that hello function,
Mm-hmm.
that functions will call. The declarations are moving to the top.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So coming to, can you tell me the key differences between function and arrow function?
Function, we can declare the function with function keyword. Arrow function means we can't, we need to using like function keyword, and if no parameters are there in that function, we just directly call with function name. No need to add like parenthesis brackets for arrow function. If no parameters are there for function, we have to call like a parenthesis brackets.
Okay. Any other differences we have apart from this?
Any other differences? Yeah, not
Okay.
may
Okay.
know the.
Yeah. So there is a one major difference is there. It is regarding to this basically. Okay. So basically,
Oh,
whenever in the function, what will happen, right? When you do console, then
okay.
it will represent the where it is called, where you are calling that function. Based on that, this value will be changed. Okay. But coming to arrow function, where it is defined and what is the parent of that function, which is the immediate parent of the object. Okay, so
Okay.
that will be the this for whenever we
Arrow.
console, yeah, this for arrow function. So it is
Okay.
means the scope, this scope will be changed based on the where you have. So when for the normal function where you called for the
So
arrow function where you
we will
defined,
declare it. Okay.
declared. So
Okay.
based on that, this will be changed. Okay.
But the arrow function and functions both are calling it return only. Net. At same time, those will
Yeah,
call.
correct. Written only. But the thing is, only in terms of this only, the scope has been changed. Calling and all everything same, because in normal function also you can return. Okay. You can in arrow function also we can return. So there is no difference in there. But coming to the scope only, this accessing is a different thing. Okay.
Arrow function has acted as a different thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
And okay, so another things also there. Can we define arrow function as a uh, object method?
Arrow function, we can define.
Yes, arrow function is an object method.
Object method means I am not getting.
Uh, y- can you tell me what is an object? How we can create an object in JavaScript?
We can create object means key value pairs.
Yeah, key value base. Can we as a value we
Uh,
can give function?
we can give
Yeah, that is I'm actually asking.
uh,
Okay, as a value we can use
give give
arrow
as a
function.
key value we can call as a arrow function. You are asking that?
Yes, yes, yes.
We can.
Okay. Suppose, right, if you can write like object, first name is John, okay,
Okay,
last name is Miller, okay.
okay, okay.
So there is another property called full name. For the full name, I have written arrow function basically, okay,
Uh, mm,
arrow function. So when I am calling return this dot first name plus last name,
uh,
okay. So whenever we calling that object dot full name, what will
okay.
happen? What is the output we will see?
That first name will come and last name will come.
Okay. So can you write and are you in the state of sharing screen and do the code?
Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
How can I share the screen here? On
There is a
screen.
smile icon and hand icon between there is icon is there, right?
Yes, arrow icon something.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. You are able to see my screen.
Yes, yes. Yes, I'm able.
On
Yeah, any name, Miller or something.
name.
Yeah,
What
arrow function.
something we can do like this now?
Yeah, return this dot
One
first
minute.
name. Yeah,
This start. Five.
okay. So now tell me what is the issue? Why we are not getting? Full name as a John Rohan.
Is the issue. I don't know, Jafar.
Okay, so to know the issue, what you have to do is,
Hmm.
can you click on up arrow?
Pero.
Yeah, up arrow in the code only. Click on up arrow.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, what you have to do is, after before return, do console.log this. Yeah. So what is this basically here? This is window object basically here. Okay.
Hmm.
So that is the scope issue basically. So because of whenever you uh, taking, whenever
Okay.
writing arrow
Okay.
function as a method for the object, so the this will be reference to the window object, not the current object.
Okay, on top of that object.
Yes. So that is the problem. So that is why it is not recommended to use arrow functions for object
Object.
methods. Okay. So yeah,
1 minute, I want to
just
just
okay.
think. Still, it is coming undefined.
Yeah. So you're referencing this dot first name.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Hmm.
when you create with let, you have to
Hmm.
check so the names are attached to the window or not. Okay. So instead of let, you use where,
In the where we can get, but why we are not getting led to? I'm not get.
because the
I'm not.
using let created ones will not attach to the window object.
Okay.
See, just console and check window. After this code, just try to console this. Then we know if it is there, then why we are not able to access. Just write this. Yeah, check last name, first name is there in window. Can you expand with arrow function? See, go by the alphabetic order so that you will know.
There is no first name.
Yes, so that is why whenever you're creating with var, so it will attach to the window object. But whenever you're creating with letter const, it will not attach to the window
Okay.
objects. Okay,
Okay. Oh,
right. So
thank you. My God. Fine. Huh.
okay, so yeah, coming to the another question. Okay, so
Hmm.
what is closure?
Closure means when one function returns the another function. That is like a callback function.
No, callback
No.
function. Can you tell me what is callback function then?
Callback function. The callback function means one function returns the another function. Closure. Closure is not like.
So basically, the callback function, whenever we pass function as an argument to another function. Okay,
Okay.
so that function which is taking function as a input as an argument, so
To the
the
another function.
yeah, so that function will call the callback function. That time we will say callback. But whenever you passing as a function as an argument, okay,
Okay.
then the parent function is calling that, right? So that time we will call callback. But coming to this point, function inside, we are physically writing another function. We are not calling, we are writing another function, then we are calling.
Okay.
So then that will be a closer, but there is a deep meaning is there. Okay,
Okay.
even though the parent function
Hmm.
execution is completed, still we are able to access the function inside another function. So it means that what you have to do is you have to write main function inside another function, but whenever you execute the main function, you have to return the inside function.
Yes.
So even though the main function is execution is completed out of the from execution context, still we are able to access the inner function. And the inner function can have access to the parent variable. In means in parent function, whatever variables declared, still this inner function can have access to the parent
Inner
function variables.
parents
So that is called closure basically.
closure.
So
Okay.
basically, if we check in the developer tools, if you go on to console, we will see there is a different memory created for closure.
Okay.
So it means that whenever the parent function execution is completed, whenever the child function is returning, that time the child function, the inner function will take all the variables of the parent and it will create a closer memory for that variable.
For separated way memory.
Yes. So
Uh,
that memory will be accessed only with the inner function.
okay.
Okay, so there is so many deep thing are there using closure. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we'll move to the next question.
Hmm.
Okay. So whenever the set time mode basically, okay.
Okay.
Suppose I have written console.log a, okay.
Okay.
After that, I have written set timeout. I am passing in a callback. The callback will be executed after 1 second, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then inside I am writing b. Basically, b is equal to 10.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I,
we can okay. Just
I
forget.
will write here. I will write here.
Yeah, yeah. Just write it here so that console.log hi. You can write hi as a string. Okay. Inside set timeout, write hello. Hello. Okay. So
Hmm.
just give zero, zero time. That's it. Zero. Then now tell me, whenever we execute this code, what will print first? What will print next?
First hi will print, then again hello will print.
Okay. Then reverse the code. Reverse the order of the code. Keep console.log high is the after set timeout. Then what will be the output?
Same output.
Okay. Why?
Because of here set time mode means it will take some 0 seconds. Nah?
There is there is no meaning for zero, right? There is no delay at all. Zero means nothing is there, right? It should execute immediately, right? But
Not
why?
like
Yeah, so that is why we have to know the reason why it is running after high, the hello.
Set timeout means it will some delay will be there. Na that zero also some delay will be there. Na?
No, not like that. Delay means 0 seconds only, right? So if you see the code, we know there is a zero. It should be run immediately. Why it is taking time? Why it is taking delay? Okay. So the thing is basically set timeout is a asynchronous JavaScript code. Okay, the set timeout is not inbuilt function of JavaScript. It
Okay.
is it is the method of browser. Okay, the window dot set timeout we are accessing, right? This is the API from the browser, not the inbuilt
Okay.
feature of JavaScript. What it will do basically, it will run, the set timeout will run, but whatever function is there, the function will go and reside in the browser timing. Okay,
Okay.
so whenever the current execution context, there is a so many execution contexts are there in the JavaScript engine. Once all the code, it means that in JavaScript code, in JavaScript file, whatever synchronous code running operation is completed, then only the engine will pick up the asynchronous code. Till the time it will not. Understood?
Oh,
Whenever the line by line code JavaScript will execute, right, it will whatever asynchronous operations that they will going into the browser and they will reside there till they will reside there. After the time completes, they will come into the event loop basically.
uh-huh.
Okay, there is a pipeline. Okay, there is a pipeline. They will come into the pipeline. After that, there is a loop. It will constantly check execution context and the pipeline. Okay,
Okay.
whenever the current execution is execution is completed with the synchronous code, then it will allow, then it will take take the asynchronous functions from the pipeline and they will push into the execution context. The thing is this entire thing will happen inside the JavaScript engine, but we don't aware of this, so that is why we say
Yes, yes,
there is some delay, but there is
yes,
actually no delay. There is a process. There is a
yes.
process
Some
where
event loop
Java,
process.
yes, there is a event loop process. Basically, there is a event stack will be there. Once the event stack, there is a pipeline. In the pipeline, what in the pipeline, what will happen? Which is go first, that will come out first, right?
Okay.
But the
Which will go first? That will come out first.
yeah, suppose if we give suppose is that set timeout zero is there, okay? Before set timeout, what we will do is we will give another set timeout which is take 1 second delay. Then 1 second one will go into first, then the 0 second will be going to the second. But
Yes.
till the time completes in the browser, okay,
Okay.
browser what will do once whichever the time complete first, that will push into the pipeline basically.
Okay.
Okay, so once it is pushed into the pipeline, then it will there is a constant check. The event loop will constantly check whether the execution context is done or not with the normal synchronous code. If it is done, then it will take it from the pipeline and it will go, push into the loop basically.
Loop.
Sorry, push into the execution context. So that way the code will run basically. If you don't know
That
this, right?
engine will work like that. Yes, I
Yes,
am.
yes, yes. The engine will work like that.
Really, I don't know how does that JavaScript engine will work. Now I know that will come to the execution engine when the stack will be completed. Then will come to the pipeline. Then after that, execution context will come. Then it will appear.
Yes. So this is the process of code which will run in the whole life. So that is why even though we keep zero, it will not run. It will not run immediately.
Yes.
Okay. And in the pipeline also there is a priority. There are two things priority, which is normal events, which is API calls. So there is a two pipelines in there, micro and macro. The
Okay.
two pipelines also. So there is a API calls. It will take micro, and there is a normal set time modes and button events will take macro. It means that basically for the API calls and promises, it will give more priority. Suppose uh, at the same time we receive promise, we receive set time mode, then the priority will go for the promise only, not for the set time mode.
Why?
So that is the JavaScript engine which will give that level priority for the promises and API calls.
Okay. First priority is not for the set timeouts.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So these are the things which is very underline the hood. It is not compulsory to know, but if you know right, then
How we know how does engine will work?
yes, then we know right, then we can give any question we can give answer very simply and with can thought and we can give perfectly answer. Otherwise we can guess also.
Yes.
Okay, so that's about the JavaScript engine basically. Okay, so can you tell me what is a promise?
Promise means if we give any API call, which is also work like asynchronous.
Mhm.
If we give any API calls, if it is a resolved, it will give the that resolve message, or it will if it is reject, it will give the that reject message.
Okay, so can we create a promise?
Ah, that all API calls. I think API all API calls are the promises, no?
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is the API call itself is a promise,
Yes.
but we are not creating a promise. So what I'm asking is, can you create a promise?
Can we create a promise?
Yeah, so can you create a promise which will resolve after 1 second?
Ah, we can create promise.
Yeah, so that promise should resolve after
One
one
second.
second. Yeah,
Do we need to create?
yeah.
I'm not getting. I'm doing it right or wrong. I don't know.
So anyway, the syntax is not entirely correct. Somewhat it is correct, but yeah, that is the way. Basically, what happened is uh, we know promise with only the API calls. Okay, not we create. So there is no
Okay.
such scenario will there while we learning basically to learning purpose we'll create a promise, but after that whenever we start working on the practical things we will not create any promise.
Promise.
We will use only but we will not create. Can you tell me why promise introduced instead of callback? So what is the problem with callback and why promise is
Promises.
introduced?
Promises are the default asynchronous, no?
Yeah, previously without promise, before promise, for API calls, what we are using then?
Before promises.
Yes. So if there are no promises, there is no
Okay.
async, then
Okay.
what are we trying with the API calls? How we are getting data from API calls? How we are knowing after the network call completed? How we are knowing that time?
I don't know.
Yeah. So basically that time we have a callback basically. Okay. So what
Okay.
happened is so there is
We will
a
create one
yeah
function.
yeah there is a XML HTTP request. The JavaScript, the network event is there, which is basically come from window, the browser event. From there is a callback will happen. We will pass a
Okay.
callback to that function, then it will return. So basically what happened, whatever in set time mode, what we are passing basically callback, right?
Callback right
So
here.
that way only we'll deal with that time before promises.
Okay.
So what will happen that time? But whenever we are calling multiple
But
API
we
calls,
don't know now how much time we have to give here for set time.
yeah,
Some
that is,
default
yeah,
time.
that is there is an event. Okay, there is
Okay.
XML HTTP request is there functionality. That event, what it will do is once we receive the response, then only the callback function it will execute.
Okay.
Okay, so that is why the functionality that time is there. So now coming to the promise, yeah, this is also same thing, right? Once we receive the response, then only the
It will
resolve,
resolve.
yes, the resolve will happen. The same thing, but the thing is,
Otherwise, it will reject. Error will throw.
yes, if it is an error, then it will throw in a reject. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, this is the thing. Basically with the promises, can you tell me then? Already we have a solution with promises to get the API calls and data and everything. But why we have a new feature called async await?
Before promises, we are using async and await. After promises, we are not
No,
using.
no. Actually, first promise, then only async await.
First promises, then only async await.
Yes, async await is the creator on top of promises.
Async await is are the priority then promises.
No, on top of means under the hood. If you look under the hood of async await,
Okay.
basically the implementation is promise only, but the implementation is hidden. Okay,
Okay.
but seeing the syntactical sugar is different. Means the whatever the writing code is different, but under the hood it is a promise only. But that is the not the reason why the async await comes. But async await comes with the purpose. So just I wanted to know what is that purpose. If you know, fine. Otherwise, I can tell. No problem.
I don't know. You. I am thinking overriding the async and await to promises will came.
No. Okay. First promises came. After on top of that, async await came. So in promises, what is the issue happened is whenever we call multiple API calls, that time
Okay.
and the multiple API calls and that too one API call is dependent on another API call.
Okay.
Suppose there is a first API call, there is a second API call, there is a third API call.
Third API. Okay.
Third API call dependent on second API call, second API call dependent on first API
First
call.
one.
So in this
Okay.
case, what will happen? What we will do? First API call, then result. Once the result is comes, when again we
If
will
it is
fetch
resolved, then come to the second one.
like that. Then will be there, right?
Yes.
There is a
Yes.
there is a hell will be created. That can be say like
Mm.
then inside then inside promise, and then like that there is a chain will come. Okay,
Yes.
so then suppose now I'm talking about only three, but think of four and five
But
and six. So straightly seeing that code, you can't understand immediately what is happening there, right?
yes.
But coming to async await, what will happen? There will be
Separated
yes,
functions.
no, there is a asynchronous code which look like synchronous code. Okay, what will happen is basically we will write await first one. Then whatever
Yes.
result comes, suppose response 1 is equal to await first API call. Then below we will write response 2 is equal to await API
Second
call
API call.
2. So that way if you see the code, right, that will be look like in a linear structure. Look
Yes.
like a synchronous code, not the asynchronous code. But coming to the promises, if that is the case, then it will then will be there. There is a hell. Promise hell will be created to
This point
avoid
I
that.
got very clearly.
Yes, because of that, the async await is comes up. Okay, and creating a promise is very easy with async await also. You can create promise also, and that is very easy.
Okay.
Okay, so that's about async await. Okay. Uh, so there is one another question. Hmm. Suppose there is an input. Okay.
Okay.
When
Okay.
I'm typing on the input, I have
Hmm.
to fetch the users. Suppose there is a search. The search
Search.
we are using for searching the user of the site.
We can take from the input on change
Yes, on change we can do.
event.
Yeah, of course
Uh,
we can do. I am typing. Okay. I am
okay.
typing suppose Devikant.
Okay.
Devikant. So
Okay.
can you tell me when you will raise the API call to get the data? If I type D, then you will raise the call. If I type E, then you will raise the call. When you raise the call means when
That
you
event
call.
dot targeted value, the that length is greater than 3, then only I will allow the request call.
Okay, greater than is fine.
Uh,
But the thing is, after suppose I'm typing Devikant, but every suppose one time I've typed, second time type, third time type, it means that after dev if I type I, you will call again.
uh,
If I k type k, you will call again. If I a, you will
then
call again. So but there is no actually, what you have to do is you have to perform in the code when I am type stopping.
then I am giving some set time mode for after when you search 1 second.
Yeah, so set time mode, how will you write that set time mode? Means just tell me the logic. How will you write?
How we will write means when we stopping the searching.
Yeah,
If
how will you know when I'm stop typing?
how we will know stop typing. No.
Okay, fine. So basically, the logic called debounce. Okay.
Okay.
So for this, there is a logic called debounce logic is there. The debounce logic, how it will work is, whenever we type something, right, we will take the target value and we will create a set time mode. Okay. But immediately, if you are getting another target value, then we will clear the first time mode, then we create another set time mode. Like the way every time you will create. But once the set time mode is completed, then we will raise the API call. It means that in targeted value, if you not receive for some time, okay, then the set time mode will trigger the API call. If if we are typing and the set time mode, whatever function we're creating for that logic, it will constantly repeating, then the set time mode will constantly remove. Okay, so
How do we know we are searching or not?
yeah, so that is why there is a set time mode. Okay, so what you will do is basically when you type, you will raise that function. Okay, that
Okay.
function what it will do is it will clear the existing timer, existing set time mode, then it will create another time, another set time mode. Every time you
Okay.
type, it will create another set time mode. It will create old one. If that function is not called for 1 second, okay, then as we are
It
not
will.
calling for that time, then the whatever set time mode is completed 1 second, then it will call the API. So you can check for the logic, this logic called debounce. Okay,
Okay.
using that name, you can search, you can find the answer what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
after that there is another logic is there which is throttle. Throttle is
Demons and
nothing but, yeah, it is some kind of debounce but not debounce basically. So the throttle what it will do is it will rise the call every 1 second or every whatever time we wanted. Suppose we wanted every 500 milliseconds, we have to rise the call. When user is typing, okay,
mm,
every 5 seconds we will rise the call whether it is user stop typing or not. Whenever he's stopping, anyway we will not going to rise. Okay, but he constantly typing. Still, what we can do is we can rise the calls after some delay. Basically, it
yes.
is like intervals. and intervals you will raise the API call.
Clear intervals.
Yes. So that is like you can check the for throttle. There is a logic called throttle basically. Okay.
This is very new concept, debounce and throttling to me.
Yeah, this is very important for the programmer whenever we're working actually because these are actual scenarios when we get this kind of
Something I am
questions.
aware of that all previous things, debouncing and throttle are very new concepts to me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So now we will get into some algorithms. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Can you reverse an array?
Now we
Write
can.
any and reverse, but don't use reverse method.
Okay.
That should be array. Okay. That array you have to reverse. Can you zoom your screens?
1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think I get it. What you are going to write. Good, very good. So this is the logic. Okay.
Okay.
So fine, fine, Devikant. I think I'm getting
Okay.
right. Now what you have to do is, can you write a function which will remove the duplicates in array, but don't use any inbuilt methods.
Can we use includes method?
Yeah, we can.
Sorry. 1 minute. If suppose one element existed already, no, I messed with this logic. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can use of index of.
Index of method will return that index.
So whatever element comes, right, we will send, we will find the element index basically.
Yes.
So then the element index will be always, suppose if we have duplicates, what will happen? The first occurrence will be, we will get the first occurrence index value,
Yes.
right? Array dot, yeah, that one. Okay. Then we have to compare basically, because under array of index every time you will get. So what we have to do is, whatever index is coming, we have to compare with that. What you can do is, in if condition,
Mm.
if in if condition you have to add a comparison, triple equal to
Triple equal to means
I, in if condition, inside if condition
inside if condition means for which array and which array we have to compare.
itself, itself we can compare. No, no, not I mean to say inside means, there is a if parenthesis is there, right? There you have to write the comparison. Yeah. After ending, yeah, ending before that, yeah, add triple equal to, right, right there, just I. Okay, so you just think of, and firstly what will happen? It will get the zero, right?
Yes.
Suppose second time, again the array of array dot index of first time we will pass this element, then we will get the zero. Again the same element we will pass, what we will get? We will get zero again. Why? Because the index of will give only first occurrence, not the second
Yes.
occurrence. Then
Yes.
but in second loop, what is the I value? 1.
One.
But the left side, the index of value will be 0,
Zero.
right? Because it will always take first occurrence.
First occurrence.
Yeah, so that way it will be, what we have to do is, whenever it is equal, then only we will create a new array. So what you have to do
New
is, you have to create in a temporary before for loop,
temp.
temp array, temp array is equal to empty. Then inside yeah, there for loop, just push whatever we will receive. That's it. Just you have to written after. Yeah, very good, very good. So yeah, I think you are pretty good at algorithms, the basic level.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so this is about, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So can you check the chart? Just
Chart.
in the chart, Google chart, the our Google Meet call is there, right? There is a chart I
Yes.
ping you.
Okay.
Yes. Just think about this. You can, otherwise you can free time, you can do the algorithm and send to me. That is fine.
O- Okay.
So the requirement here is basically there are provided cities. Okay. From
Okay.
this we have to extract and we have to form this object, below object.
Cities.
Yeah. Basically what we have to do is, this is the provided is the input array basically. So
Okay.
if there is a function, if in that function, if I pass this array, then I have
Mm.
to, as a output, I need to get this result. the cities
Uh,
as a result.
we will get. Can I write?
Yeah, if you know, then you can write. First, tell me the logic so that if it is okay, then
We will iterate the this provided cities map.
hmm.
If the state is TS, then we will throw into one array that cities into the that corresponding state array. If the state is AP, that we will throw that array that cities into the corresponding array.
Okay, but here we have to form the object.
Form the object.
Yeah, if you see carefully, the cities is
Uh,
an object.
Object
It
has
is
got
it
it.
is having a property called TS.
AP.
Inside TS as a value we have a array. So basically
Yes.
we need this kind of output. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It is just for extra thing only. Just you can try offline and you can ping me. That is a no problem. Okay.
Okay.
So now we will quickly move into React. Okay. So because we almost reach our time, but anyways, no problem. We will go into React. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can stop sharing screen. Okay. No problem. Otherwise, keep it. I
Okay.
have one another question also in React, so that's why we can
Okay. Okay.
go ahead. Okay. Can you tell me what is virtual DOM?
Virtual domains, if we are that actually React, our main motto is that it will if one page is there, we have a multiple components are there. Component based structure in React.
Mm-hmm.
If we
Okay.
update if we update any state in that component, only that component will update, not complete page.
Okay. Very good answer. But here, what is virtual DOM then? You told the way of component level, right? But what is virtual DOM?
Virtual domains, I understand that one only.
Okay. 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 Fine. Basically, virtual DOM is a light copy of a real DOM. Basically. Okay.
Okay.
So what happened is what whenever our component is rendered to the real DOM, right? Before that, it will create a light copy of a real DOM.
Okay.
Whenever you update a state, then what React will do is it will create another virtual DOM. Means it will create new virtual DOM. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then it will compare between old and new virtual DOMs. So if there is a change between there is a change in
Okay.
the both virtual DOMs, so it will run the diff algorithm. There is a diff algorithm which React is created to compare both virtual DOMs.
Okay.
Okay. So what it will do, it will go into the looping. It will go into the recursive way. Recursive way, it will go check every child and every parent. Suppose if there is a change find in parent level, then it will not go into the child because React what it will do is it will not do any deep comparison. It will do only the shallow comparison first. First, it will
Okay.
compare the parent. If there any difference find in parent before virtual DOM and after new virtual DOM, then it will stop it there and it will completely uh, render to the real DOM even though the childs are up, not changed. Okay,
I'm
so
not getting job.
suppose Devikan, if there is a parent, okay, parent is having two children.
Okay.
The state is updated in the parent.
Okay.
Then here what will happen is uh, the as the changes happened in the parent, so what it will do is React the parent plus the children's, this three will be rendered to the real DOM. Means the render will happen, but we will
Okay.
because and in the view we will not know because there is no much change we will see. But
No.
if you go and check the render position, the elements which is pasted to the real DOM, if you open elements or there is a React developer tools is there, right? If you see there
Okay.
what is rendered, then you will know if parent level change is there, then children's also re-rendered. So it means that if there is no change in the parent, then it will go into the child level. It will check
Okay.
child is changing or not. If only one child is changed, then only that one child it will render to the real DOM. So
If the
basically
change is in child also, that will only.
that only. Suppose
Yes.
parent is not having change.
Okay.
So in parent we have two childs, child one and child two. But there is a change happen in the child two only. Then what
Okay.
will happen? Only the child two will be rendered to the real DOM.
Yes.
So it means that a child will not affect the render of the parent. Okay, but the parent will affect the render of the child. Okay, so
Acha.
hmm, so that is the thing. Okay, but in real time you will not see in the UI that much difference because really so fast that you won't know.
If
Okay,
any changes in the child, that will not affect on the parent.
yes,
If any changes in the parent, that will not affect on the that will be affect on the child.
yes, because the child state will maintain on the parent level, right?
Yes.
Even though the child is not getting any props from parent, still it will re-render because of parent itself re-rendered. Okay, it means that physically you are keeping that child component inside the parent, then obviously it will render. O- Okay, we can avoid that by using that use memo or there is a things are there that, but we have to handle manually. Otherwise, we have to use pure component, right? You know pure component, what it will do?
I don't have your
Okay,
component.
maybe you have learned from hooks, not from the class components,
Okay.
right? I'm right?
I worked on the hooks only.
Yeah, so before that, we have a component called pure component, which is do shallow comparison. Okay, we have some other lifecycle methods also should component update or not. So which is also do the shallow comparison, but that is not there once the hooks comes. Can you tell
Yes.
me what is hooks basically in React?
Hooks are the use effect, use state. Those are the UI render based on the UI fast performance, use effect, use state, and use memo, use callback, use reducer, use dispatch.
Okay, can you tell me what is the role of use effect?
When the page is initial loading, then it will be the execute use effect. That will be based on the dependencies. If any dependency update, then again it will execute.
Okay, then one question. When use
Okay.
effect will run? Before render, after render? Means I mean to say we will have a return, right?
We will have a return, and
Right.
on top of that, use effect will be there.
Yes. On top means the physically we are writing use effect before return, right?
I am not sure. As of my awareness, it will render parallelly both use effect and return.
Okay. Yeah, actually that is not true. Once return is done, then it will trigger use effect. Basically after every render use effect will run. Okay?
Every first return will render, then again use effect will call.
Yes, yes. That is the order. Okay. So there is no parallel thing basically. Return will done, then only use effect will execute. Okay. But
Okay,
the use effect
first
first time
in
after render use effect will run every render basically, but the use effect will run based on the
okay.
dependencies. Can you tell me
Yes.
there is a dependency array is there? Can you tell me the
Uh,
importance of dependency array?
if you that dependency remains, if any state is updated, then again that inside of that use effect function we have to call, that is the like requirement. Then we can use that dependencies. If we give the empty dependencies, it will call only once again. If we are not giving that empty array also, if any changer is there, that use effect will always run.
Okay, so can you tell me whenever the component leaving from the DOM, whenever the component deleting from the DOM, and I
Okay.
have to do something, I have to do some console.log, I am leaving from the DOM, then how can I do it before deleting from DOM? You understand
Before
my question, right?
not
Suppose you have a child component, okay? So there
Okay.
is a button in the parent.
Okay.
Whenever you
Okay.
click on the button, then
Mm.
only you are showing the component.
Yes.
So basically that is a toggle button. You
Yes.
click first
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
then we will show. Whenever click second time, then we will hide. We will hide means we will
Yes.
not render basically.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
conditional render, right?
Yes.
Based on that condition, we will add into the DOM. Otherwise, we will remove from the DOM. Basically, based on the condition, right?
Yes. Yes.
So whenever the component is removing from the DOM, okay,
Yes.
condition is false, then the component will not render, right?
Component will not show. Yes.
Right. So before it is making false, before it is making false, and
Okay.
it is supposed to be deleting from the DOM. So that time I have to do something. I have to write I am going from the DOM like the way in the console. What
When we are
how to do?
clicking that button is there na toggle button.
Hmm. Okay, you mean to say you will write there, but I am asking about in the child component. I have to write that one, not the button level. Okay, otherwise I will ask this way then. So in use effect, how can we mock the unmount life cycle basically? Otherwise, in use effect, we can write return, right?
Ah,
So can you tell me when the return will execute?
that component, complete component.
Yeah, in use effect, basically we will write return statement, right? In return statement,
Yes.
what we will write? We will write function basically.
Yes.
Basically, we will return the function there, but
Function.
the returned function when it will execute.
After component level return will execute, then that use effect return will function execute.
No. Basically, the return will create another function, right? That function will execute once the child component is removing from the DOM. Okay, so whenever the
So
component is not, it is going to be removed from DOM. That time the return state returned function will be execute.
that use effect return function will execute.
Yes, that time. So that is called unmount in a life cycle. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Fine. Can you tell me the difference between use effect and use reducer?
Use effect
Sorry,
is
sorry. Use state and use reducer. Sorry. Yeah.
use state is in the component when we want to update anything like whatever the state we want to update, we can give that state into that we can use state hook.
Hmm.
Use reducer means I use reducer for Redux only.
But in React also we have inbuilt use reducer.
Inbuilt reducer is there.
Yeah. But that is not any relation with the Redux, right? That is React feature basically. Hooks feature.
I'm not that much aware of use reducer. Use state I
Okay.
use it regularly.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Just if you know that is answer. Otherwise we can leave it. No problem. Okay. Yes. The main question comes. Can you give the differences between use callback and use memo?
Ah, use memo will give the that function is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If we give depend, suppose suppose we given yes that dependency previously, if it is already executed,
Mm-hmm.
it will not execute again. Whatever the value previously it is written, that same value it will return.
Okay.
That is
Suppose.
use memo. That same kind of thing use callback will also work, but it will return the function.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is the, you know.
Suppose in use memo there is a sum basically. Use memo
Okay.
2 into
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Okay. I will pass dependency like A and B.
Okay. Okay.
A and B are both I'm passing as a dependency for use memo. Then
Okay.
what we will do is in use memo we will return A plus B.
A plus B. Suppose the dependencies are 5 and 6.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
A plus B means 11.
yes.
Then again we passed 5 and 6,
Mm.
that function will not execute. That previously same dependencies value is there, na?
Mm. Okay. Okay. So it means that we have to, if we pass dependencies values differently, then only it will again recalculate.
Yes,
Otherwise, it will give the catchy value. It means that if inputs are same, then it will return the catchy value. If inputs
yes.
are different, then again it
It
will
will,
recalculate and give the value. Okay, fine,
yes,
very good,
yes.
very good. So what about callback then?
Callback also will work same like that, but it will return the function
Okay, can you
that
tell
use
me?
memory will.
Okay, fine, fine. That I get it. Whenever the dependency changes, the callback will the function will create. Okay, but why we need use callback then? Can you tell me the example why and where we need to use the use callback?
If suppose re- render methods are multiple are there,
Mm-hmm,
how we can say, suppose one drop down is there.
mm-hmm,
Inside of the drop down, if we open couple of items will come na,
mm-hmm.
there the drop down needs to render only at a time.
Okay, okay.
The drop down needs to render at a time, then we no need to call every time na.
But I mean to ask is, what is the relation between the use callback function and this drop down? Can you tell me?
Drop down means if we are clicking the drop down na, line items will come na.
Okay, we are clicking on the drop down, but whenever we're clicking on the drop down, what will happen? We will call a function.
Yes.
So that function we will keep inside use callback. Just I'm trying to understand what you are saying. Okay, I'm just trying to relate how the use
I
callback related
can't.
function, the drop down is related basically. If you're not sure, then we can leave it, no problem at all. Okay, so that is fine.
No, you are giving some briefly explanation about I am not understanding anything.
Briefly explanation I mean to say is the relation we have to know, right?
Yes, yes,
Whenever
yes,
we're
yes,
using
yes.
use callback, we have to know why we are using. If you don't know
Yeah.
why, then there is no purpose to use it. And another thing is, unknowingly using callback will be lead to the
Because of the
memory
performance.
browser performance and lead to the memory leak.
Okay.
So that is why, and also, and sometime what happen, it will not execute whenever required also sometimes.
Yes.
So that is very important when we are using it. Okay, so please make sure the exact scenario and situation so that whenever interviewer ask, you have to tell the proper reason to use
Same.
and situation. Okay,
Okay, Jafar. Okay.
okay, then okay, fine. Then coming to the redux. Okay,
Okay.
basically we should attempt the redux, otherwise there is no meaning of React interview basically, because any global state management we should know. Okay,
Yes.
can you tell me the differences between, I mean to say, suppose I have an application, I
Okay.
have a need of a global management, but
Okay.
I have a dilemma whether I have to use context, whether I have to use redux. So can you help me with that? How can I decide which one to choose?
As I am no, if that application is simple small application or that whatever we want to use na,
Hmm.
that I mean that task depends on
Yeah.
that data whatever we want to use, that based on that one we can use context and redux. If that that is small project, and that even whatever we need data, if that is not that much complexer, then we can go to the context.
Okay, but okay, but I have decided it is a really data-driven project and it is having so many data to manage, but still I want to use context. Then you tell me what is the problem I will face.
What's the problem we face? I think you might get later data some delay with
S-
you if you use
Yeah,
context like that. That's,
why we will get delay? Because it is also fast. Why we will get delay? Okay, no problem, Devikan. I will tell you. Okay, so the reason behind is basically Redux is giving a Redux developer tools basically.
yes.
Okay,
Mm,
whenever our application grows, there is a need for how the data is flowing when and the actions we have taken. So basically, whenever there is a large application, right, the Redux developer tools will help us to debug
mm,
on the
no,
step, okay, where the problem is occurring and where it is going,
mm,
how the
yeah,
manage the state management is happening. But coming to the context, there is no such thing we can track. Okay, so that is the problem, and that too, even though if we are using context also, it is not a performance because of whatever the context provider we created, right? So
yes.
whichever consumer it is accessing, the whole thing will be re-render. Okay, so that is the problem will happen. So that is why it is recommended like small project we can use context. So there is no much required of debugging things and very easy
Okay.
to use. And
Yes.
the setup also very simple. But coming to the Redux, after coming uh, like the Redux latest implementation, now it is easy. Okay, so there is not a, it will not take time to implement. But the thing is, yeah, most of the developers using Redux only. Okay, so that is the reason we can say it is mean that we don't know what kind of the questions will come, but but situation comes, right? We already know that is fine. If we don't know, then we can say sorry, don't have idea. So that is the way we can go ahead with the answers basically. Okay,
Uh,
right? Can you tell me how the data flow works in Redux?
that whatever we are dispatching the data, na, whatever we want to dispatch the data,
Hmm.
we have to set it into the actions.
Okay.
When we are dispatching, we will give the type, na,
Hmm.
what type of data it is.
Okay.
If the type is equal in that action,
Type
that
is
payload will
equal in the action.
uh, not
Hmm.
action reducer.
Okay.
That payload will send into the state.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
That data will store into the state. Whenever we want to access that data, we can use that. We will give one data with key, na,
Hmm.
whatever products or items or whatever it is.
Hmm.
We can use with the use selector that state dot that key name. We will get that object.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So if I restructure your answer, so basically what will happen? Suppose we have a situation where we have to delete one item from the list.
Okay.
Okay. Then when I click on delete, then what
Okay.
will happen? We will dispatch an action. The
Okay.
action consists of key and payload. The key is called delete, which is mostly we will write in all caps.
Yes.
Okay, payload will be the ID of the item.
Yes.
Then the action will go into the reducer. Okay,
Yes.
in reducer we have a conditions called switch. Otherwise, we can use if condition also, but it is up to us. You are
Yes.
we are going to use switch. We are going to use if
Ye-
it is up to us. But most of the scenarios we are using switch case.
switch.
So what happened? There is a case which is called delete. Then we will go into that condition as a true. After that, what we'll do? We will update the list array as a immutable way, not the mutable way. Immutable way means we will copy the entire array of list. Then whatever we want to remove, we will remove it. Then the whatever the left out,
Then set the state.
then we will return. We will do the
Uh,
return.
yes.
Whenever the reduction is written, what will happen? It will update the store.
Yes.
Once the store is updated, then whatever components are subscribing to that store, how the subscription will happen to the components. I mean to say is how you are linking your store with our component. Can you tell me? You understand my question,
So
right?
yes,
I mean to
we
say
can link.
how you connect the Redux with our components.
We can connect in that main index.js is there, na?
I mean to say that is parent level, okay? Parent level, you
Ye-
can access the Redux, okay, fine. But individual component you have to connect, right?
Uh,
Individual component you have to access.
we can access from you with the use selector hook is there, na?
Hmm. Yeah, that is I'm talking about.
Mm,
Okay, so use selector using use selector we will access the data basically.
yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's about this Redux. Coming to the, can you tell me the API calls will manage by Redux? We can do in Redux API calls, updating the Redux store. We can do.
We, I, you don't know any idea about this.
Okay, okay, no problem. Actually, the Redux itself doesn't have a. It will not handle the API calls basically. What happened is, whenever we dispatch an action, in between
Okay.
we have to fetch the data, and whatever data comes we have to update the store, but there is no inbuilt logic in the Redux. So that is why another library will comes into the picture, which is Redux thunk. So what Redux
Redux.
thunk it will do is it will delay the action till the we receive the response from the API call. Once we receive the API call, it will again redispatch that action to the reducer. Then whatever data we receive, that we will send as a payload to the data action. Then it will update the store.
Okay.
So basically this all about will happen. Okay, yeah, I think that's it from my end, Devikant, basically. But and overall, I can see you have attempted a question very good way. Okay, I think just you have to improve your observation mode. That's it. Not a big thing basically. You have to more into the like observation level. You have to go. I mean to
Okay.
say is you have to tell the situations, okay,
Scenarios
scenarios,
where we can use that one.
real-time examples, and if you know something, then you have to know the right. Okay,
Okay.
you have to be perfect on that way. So that way, so that we can, whenever we explain something right, that should
Okay.
be on the practical ground, not on the theory
Okay.
ground.
Okay.
So that way, I think it will really help because sometimes we forget the definitions, right? We will not
Yes.
remember. But if we know the on practical ground, we just in the practical what we are going to do, that we will explain.
Yes.
So that is enough. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not about that you have to answer the 100% question. It is about you have to attempt the 70% question, right? So that is enough. I think so. But
Okay.
as a overall, you are good basically. Okay. But keep learning,
Mm.
keep explore JavaScript engine also, so that will help your understanding.
Now I got that idea. I have to explore JavaScript engine. You
Mhm.
given some brief idea about that.
Yeah.
How does
Okay.
it
Yeah.
working?
Yeah. 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 That's it, Devikant. That's it from mine. If you have anything, you can ask.
Nothing, Jafar. I will explore more and you think plan to give take not next week, another week any schedule is there?
Yeah, no problem. Whenever you're ready, then let
Mm.
me know. Then we can schedule the
Because
meeting.
of I am always worrying about that one. No one I know
Okay.
that share to my thoughts and what is the market outside.
Yeah.
How does it is how I have to perform in interview? What the questions I am going to receive from them?